I have constantly said in this country, until Nigerians get to a stage to say, no, you can't be minister of power if it is generator that is powering your whole house and you have not provided generator for every other person. You cannot be minister of housing if you are not staying in a government apartment. You cannot be minister of health if you do not have your treatment in this country. You cannot be minister of education if your children are all schooling outside. You can't. Why? Because human beings have self-interest. That is what is called self-interest. If his children are going to go to the government secondary school, he will make sure that government secondary schools are well taken care of. If his family is going to go to the general hospital next door, he will make sure that general hospital is well taken care of. But as long as leaders do not share in the plight of the people, as long as leaders can fly to the US, to UK, to Dubai for their health care and condemn the people to this kind of conditions here, as long as that is the situation, we are not moving anywhere. So Nigerians will have to rise up and say, no, you can't be our minister for education because your children are not schooling here. So when you have a situation, rather than the people making sacrifice and demonstrating how much sacrifice you have made for the people, then we say, yes, you be our leader because you have suffered for us. You have denied yourself legitimate pleasures for our sake. That is what used to qualify people for leadership. Now, we have people who conquer us. They conquer us. Then they take the resources of our land to reconquer us and remain there, and it becomes difficult to move them out of power. But someday, as I always say, the revenge of the poor is at the corner.
Okay, everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. In this video, we are going to look at how much the church has reproached herself that those we call clergymen don't have respect, small as a grain of sand anymore. Now, in this video, we're going to see a politician. He is the FCT minister today, the former governor of Rivers State, Wike. We're going to see how he lampooned and, for me, embarrassed and disgraced a bishop. We're going to see. Now, what was the sin of the bishop? The sin of the bishop was that Wike loved something like this.
Let me also, in a special way, recognize the presence of the FCT minister, Barrister Wike. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for giving us your presence here today, sir.
So when he came in a convocation, in a meeting, and he was no longer giving something like what he saw, it became a problem. I'd like you to listen to Wike. Please don't go away.
You are welcome to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom.
It will be difficult for me to run away from this congregation, even though I've restrained not to make comments. But this comment became necessary. Yesterday, I was invited by the Chief Judge of Rivers State to attend the legal hearing. I was written formally to attend. I did not on my own jump up to go and attend the legal hearing because I want to see lawyers. I want to see judges. I want to show that I'm for Rivers State. The Chief Judge wrote to me. I didn't want to come. I've never stayed after Abuja Thursday. It's not possible for me to leave Abuja on a Thursday. I'm a very busy person. When I mean busy, busy in all ramifications. And I called the Chief Judge. Well, I made up my mind to come. He said, okay, I should come. And I came. Well, there's no problem. People plant problems. I don't respect people based because you're a doctor. I don't respect people because you're a judge. I don't respect people based because you're a bishop. No. I respect you based on how you carry yourself, based on your conduct and your truthfulness, your ability, your capacity. When you see the truth, you say that this is the truth. When you see there's a problem, according to you, you use your position to solve such problems, not to create problems. Nobody does that. So many people talk about war. They have not experienced war. When they experience war, they won't talk about war again. Those who you see championing ethnicity, they don't know the effect of it. Some of us are today benefits of what ordinarily you couldn't have gotten it. Based on where you come from. Based on where you come from. Either by population or by whatever numerical strength. But God has a way to use his people to make certain things to be achievable. My relationship with the others, my respect for them, it's not because I'm a governor, no. My relationship with Josundo, it's not because when I was chief of staff, he was the chief judge, we related, no. I don't like those who have blood of ungratefulness. I don't. As a young lawyer, when I left Isokala to run for chairmanship election, it was just made of the list office I went to because I did my attachment in her court for law school. That support they gave to me in 1999 is what has kept our relationship up to date. It's not as if they have not taken a decision or decisions that I felt may not have augured well with me. And then I abandoned that in 1999 when I needed people. They were there. Nobody does that. I saw the preachings. I was watching the preaching of Bishop Okojoja yesterday. I watched the prayers you prayed. As a minister of FCT, I came to the church, not even the custom of Shogunan, the minister of FCT came in. And I laughed. When I was governor here, you were all praising me, heaven and earth, and this, and prayed for me. I did this, I did that, I did that. Fake. I tell people, I'm a politician. I'm not a clergy. I'm a politician. We have our own roles. As a clergy, have your own roles. I have never asked anybody, how do you preach today? I never told you this is the way to preach. If you're not a politician, you don't want what happened to a politician to happen to you, be careful. Because once you try yourself to the arena of politics, the mud will also be rubbed on you. If you think there was any problem in this state at all, if at all there was any problem, I expected you as a bishop. I expected you as a bishop to try. No, what's happening? No, let me go and see in Abuja. I should mean. Who has his number? I'm a man of character. I couldn't have become minister of FCT. A non-member of APC to be the FCT minister, not an ordinary minister, FCT minister. You know that I'm a man of character. The president could not have. He can make me a minister, but it will be difficult because that's the seat of power. To give it to somebody who is not in his party. He knows I'm a man of character. And that was why I took the decision I took. And I want to say it today. If I had followed the people who are the bishops, today, Florida would have been governor. Yes. The way you are pushing us to go to, if I followed that path and supported the person who wanted me to support, it wouldn't have been possible. I say it with authority. I stood firm in this country and I said I was going to support the Satan to president. And I said heaven will not fall. Heaven will never fail. And I have no regrets. If I was not stubborn, yes, positive stubbornness. I'm not a man anybody can just push like this. I'm not that kind of person. So what I urge all of you, if you want to help. If you have no capacity to help, don't cause more trouble.
All right, that was the video there. I don't know whatever you learned, if there was anything you learned from that, and if what I feel and how bad I feel, how I felt about the video when I saw it, and how I am still feeling now hasn't changed, because I want to believe that that kind of situation for a politician to have the boldness to address a servant of God, so-called, like that. Now, whether we like it or not, servants of God ought to be revered. They ought to have some form of aura that they exude, because they represent an office that is quite sacred. That does not mean that they are to be worshipped. Now, those days in the Bible, clergymen were the kingmakers. When men were still aligning under the mighty hand of God, clergymen, prophets were the kingmakers. I remember that God told Elijah, anoint certain persons, including Elisha. And Elisha was sent to go and anoint Jehu. And You can imagine a prophet in Israel being sent across border to go and anoint another servant of a particular king, a king in, I think, in Syria or Assyria, forgotten now. Now that was the power that the Spirit of God upon them wielded, to the point that when there was drought in the land, when there was famine in the land, that women started healing and boiling their children to eat. The king of Israel then, that was on the throne then, said, how could we have prophets in this land and something like this is happening? Now it is either we have a prophet or we don't have a prophet. Now that was how revered the office of God's servants who served God without any selfish interest attached. They dispensed the mind of God not for gain. They dispensed their duties under God with the fear of God. So there was no king then that had no respect for the servants of God upon whom the Spirit of the true God was. With all the evil in Saul, he still respected Samuel. So this guy went to meet Elisha, and as he was coming, now Elisha said, this son of Belial is coming. Hold him at the door. Would hold him at the door, because evil was intended against Elisha. He was coming to kill Elisha. And when he came, Elisha said, thus says the Lord. That was what gave birth to that famous prophecy that a bag of rice will be sold for 1 penny this time tomorrow. And one of the sycophants of the king, it was like, even if the Lord makes a window in the heavens, would this be possible? And Elisha said, you will see it with your eyes and you will not eat of it. When Elisha was at the point of death, the king came to meet him and was like, my father, my father. Clergymen were revered, were respected, not because they were worshipped. I'm not saying worship them. I'm not saying that they are perfect, they don't have faults. I'm not saying that whatever they say or whatever they said was the final. But if those of them that operated under the Spirit of God, everything they said in those days, final. I know that we're in a different dispensation. The dispensation wherein we are now is a dispensation that, our faith in general as Christians is suffering persecution. But Wike claims to be a Christian, and the person he was lampooning and insulting and embarrassing the way he did happens to be a Christian leader. Why? Because he did not give him special respect. Do you think that if pastors and ministers have not been worshiping these people, that Wike will have any reason to talk to the bishop like that? It is because pastors and preachers, apostles and evangelists and bishops, almost all of them have sold their birthright. Many of them are involved in politics, so they cannot criticize the evil that the politicians are doing, because the politicians will go and steal the public fund and will come to their churches to come and do donation. So they won't have the mouth to rebuke them. They won't have the mouth to criticize them. I guess that when Wike was the governor of Rivers State, this bishop probably was part of those that were calling him good names, doing all that, blah, blah, and blah. Now, Wike is no longer on the seat. Another person is on the seat, and Wike is looking for a way for the one who he installed as the governor of the state to be completely loyal to him. So there is this kind of tussle, and maybe Wike has discovered that the coldness, in quotes, meted to him by the bishop the last time maybe was because the bishop has shifted allegiance from Wike to Fubara. The issue is that no pastor or church leader is supposed to be partisan. And that does not mean that on the day of election and casting of votes that the Christian leader shouldn't have a candidate of his choice. All we expect from leaders is to speak like this man. I call him one of the few voices that are left. I will leave you with this. Let's know what you think about the video in the comment section. God bless you. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, from me to you. Shalom.
Have constantly said in this country, until Nigerians get to a stage to say, no, you can't be minister of power if it is generator that is powering your whole house and you have not provided generator for every other person. You cannot be minister of housing if you are not staying in a government apartment. You cannot be minister of health if you do not have your treatment in this country. You cannot be minister of education if your children are all schooling outside. You can't. Why? Because human beings have self-interest. There is what is called self-interest. If his children are going to go to the government secondary school, he will make sure that government secondary schools are well taken care of. If his family is going to go to the general hospital next door, he will make sure that general hospital is well taken care of. But as long as leaders do not share in the plight of the people, as long as leaders can fly to the US, to UK, to Dubai for their health care and condemn the people to this kind of conditions here, as long as that is the situation, we are not moving anywhere. So Nigerians will have to rise up and say, no, you can't be our minister for education because your children are not schooling here. So when you have a situation, rather than the people making sacrifice and demonstrating how much sacrifice you have made for the people, then we say, yes, you be our leader because you have suffered for us. You have denied yourself legitimate pleasures for our sake. That is what used to qualify people for leadership. Now, we have people who conquer us. They conquer us. Then they take the resources of our land to reconquer us and remain there, and it becomes difficult to move them out of power. But someday, as I always say, the revenge of the poor is at the corner. The revenge of the poor is coming. And that one, you will not be able to do anything about it. You can have your jeep. You can have your generators. You can have everything bulletproof. But the revenge of the poor, it happened in France. It happened in Russia. It has just happened in Sudan. It will happen here. Unless we change our course, we will end up where we are heading. And where we are heading now is unfortunately, it's a violent revolution. That's where we are heading, unless we change our course. And I am not just talking of leaders in the national level. I'm not talking of presidents and governors and senators and House of Rep. I'm talking of all of us who are privileged. I hope you know. And many of us here, most of us here are privileged. What is our concern for the people next door? For the poor people next door? What is our concern? What is even our concern for our megadis? For those who do petty work for us, what is our concern? If that is not happening, it means we are failing as shepherds in our responsibility of being shepherds. I hope you know that in this Africa, in this Nigeria, there never used to be a distinction between the neighborhood of the rich and the neighborhood of the poor. I hope you know. I hope you know that poor people and rich people used to live together. That's the heart of the blacksmith. That's the heart of the king. That's the heart of it used to be together. It's a completely new, terrible thing that has happened to us. And people are enjoying it. They are enjoying it. They ask you what part of town you live in. And that immediately you tell them the part of town you live in, you know your status. And I am saying, by the time you segregate society, what used to be called apartheid, and Nigerians were in the forefront of fighting apartheid, where the white man said, look, you blacks, you live there. We white, we live here. That is exactly what we are doing to our fellow black people. Exactly. And you know, it makes it easier when revolution comes. I hope you know. It makes it easier. It means the poor people know where to go. And I challenge the authorities in our cities. I challenge town planners that this is not how to plan towns. Let us start working. If we want our peace and safety and security in future, let us start working on what is called integrated cities, integrated estates, integrated settlements. If we want peace, the one we are on now, you will never have peace. We need to have integrated cities where the not so rich and the rich and so on live together and share. So that the children that are growing up privileged will know they are privileged when they see next door the other children. And they go to the same school, by the way. They go to the same school, by the way. When I was in primary school, everybody went to that primary school. We never knew that anyone was rich or anyone was poor. And that helped us. That helped us. But the society we are creating today, I am saying it is not sustainable. What did I call it? It's not sustainable. We can't run a society like this for the next 100 years. It's not possible. So if you have a future, if you dream of a future for your children and grandchildren, you need to join me in shouting against this. If you dream of a future for your children and grandchildren, you need to join me in saying, this is inappropriate. This is dangerous. This is destructive. Like I said, it is not our high walls. It is not our barbed wires. It is not our electrified fences that will save us. What will save us is that the poor should be included at the dining table. Yes, the poor and the handicapped and the widow and the orphan. They should be included at the dining table. That is what will save.